All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another installment of Military History Chronicles. Yeah, I was thinking about it today. I was like, man, there's a lot of stuff going on out there. I was like, I love talking about this stuff. And I thought, you know what? Let's do another show. Will's not going to be able to make it tonight. He's feeling under the weather. So he said he will catch the next one, which is awesome because I love hearing his. I love just bouncing stuff back and forth. It makes for a good show. But hey, I got you guys here, so maybe I'll throw out the link if anyone wants to join. That'd be awesome. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on out there. I don't know if you guys read the description on what I put for this show. But yeah, what is the priority for the United States? Geopolitically speaking. Yeah, I saw what you said, Carlo. 3:30 tomorrow. Yeah, I'm sure I'll have a lot of people. Hey, you never know. I may get some dedicated people. Maybe. But no, it's going to be something tomorrow. No doubt about it. I'm sure the butterflies are flying in a lot of people's stomachs on what's going to happen tomorrow. It should be exciting. Should be a good time. Ready to barbecue tomorrow. It's a good excuse to barbecue, isn't it? So hey, yeah, like I said, want to do a show. I see Aaron, Matthew, Carlo, Ron. Appreciate it, guys. This is going to involve you. It's another one of these shows that's going to involve you guys because I kind of want to hear what you have to say. There's going to be no right or wrong answer. I'm just kind of interested to see what people think out there. If Lowe's would like to discuss JFK. All right, fair enough. We kind of touched on JFK. If you go check out the, we did a show on the Cuban Missile Crisis, and of course that involved JFK quite a bit. But yeah, we could do another discussion on him, no doubt about it, because I love talking about leadership and that type of stuff. Because it's kind of, you think about military history, a lot of it, of course, has to deal with leadership. So yeah, we could do another show on that, no doubt about it. Same thing with, hey, Matthew, I got that text talking about 9/11. Yeah, I could do another 9/11 show. Have to figure out a different way of how to attack it because we kind of did a broad examination of 9/11 last time, but maybe we could focus in on a certain aspect of it. And we could do it more like around this time, right? Around 7 o'clock Pacific. I think that might help, especially for those on the East Coast. So yeah, we'll figure it out. Maybe next weekend or something. We could get that done. Because yeah, we'll get into the baseball stuff, of course, on NorCal. Dan put a lot of good. I don't know if you guys follow him on Twitter, but he put some good stuff out there today, talking about the Giants. But man, let's talk about the subject at hand. Geopolitics. What do you guys think? Let's hear. Let me bring up. I'm gonna read my description that I have on here. In the description, I said the current world geopolitical situation is fluid, and the United States is involved in all of it. What should be the direction the United States take in confronting these challenges? The directions are as follows: focus on Europe, Asia, both, or none. Come express your thoughts and concerns. So what do you guys think? Just want to kind of start it off that way. What do you guys think? Do we need to focus on a specific area? Do we need to focus on both? I'm just taking Europe and Asia as a whole. I'm not going to get into like specific situations, but let's just do regions. I guess I could have put Middle East in there too. That probably actually would have been a decent one too. I should have put Middle East because that's kind of, yeah, that's definitely separate. So you could even say Middle East if you want, or you don't want to be involved in any of them. I mean, it's up to you guys. What do you guys think? Because there's something that's funny. As soon as I put this the show up earlier today, I think I put it up right around 5:30 or so, somewhere around there. The clip came out about what Donald Trump said about NATO. And I was like, wow, talk about being fortuitous. I'm being dead honest. I put it up before he even came out here because I think that's something we probably need to talk about, what Donald Trump said in South Carolina today. It's pretty it's something that needs to be talked about, no doubt about it. And I'm pretty sure it's making headlines all over the place, and I'm sure this is going to be a huge topic for a while now. But for me, I don't think it's a good look. But yeah, we can get into that later. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Should the United States be involved in any of these areas? Like I said, Europe, Asia, or Europe. Yeah, Europe, Asia. You could even say Middle East. Do we not? We should focus on America. Okay. So do you think we should? Okay, Matthew, answer me this. Should we not engage in anything that's going on in Europe or Asia or the Middle East? You think we should just focus on America, nothing else? Just want to get clarification. And there, like I said, there's no wrong answer. I'm not going to bite anyone's head off. I know I'll get animated, no doubt about it. I will get animated, but I'm not going to bite anyone's head off. What's up, Jim? Hey, yeah, Will's not here today. He's feeling under weather. He'll be on the next episode. So, what do you guys think? Should the United States be involved geopolitically in Europe, in Asia, the Middle East? I forgot to put that in the description. I said both, but all of them or none of them? Or should we just divert our attention to the United States of America and not worry about what's happening out in the rest of the world? I should say prioritize, that is. Maybe bring up Twitter, man. The Twitter's just been blowing up today, talking about similar stuff to this. All right, what do we got here? I got a lot of stuff out there. Gosh, where do I even want to start with this? Because it's a mess. Let me just bring this. Where is it? There. Right about there. Here we go. Unfortunately, we will get involved. Always have, always will. Yeah, it's true. Do you think, I mean, should we be involved in these areas? It shouldn't be an either or. We should be able to do both. The minute we remove ourselves from the world affairs, it will go to shit. 100%, Aaron. I like that. That's my thought. I mean, like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. I just want to get what you guys feel. Let's see. Crab, what's up? Says absolutely be involved, but as long as the Peter principle is Peter principle is a thing, it will never go well. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was a minute behind, but I'm not saying that we're only focusing on. I think we should be spending our money to protect America. Okay, I get that. That makes sense. I 100% get that. The reason why I want to bring this up because I think there's a lot, and I kind of touched on it on a previous episode, talking about, there's definitely two camps. There's camps that, well, maybe three. There's a camp that wants to be, hey, we got to worry about what's going on in Europe and with Russia, Ukraine, specifically what Russia's doing in Europe. Ukraine just happens to be the flashpoint right now. And then there's others that say, hey, no, we need to be worried more about what's going on in China and the Pacific. Both. Yeah, exactly. Same to you, Crab. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out tomorrow. We both are very important. What's up, Nick? Hey, I appreciate you. I've seen you in NorCal and on Larry's channel. Appreciate it. Something when it comes to world affairs, if the U.S. pulled out of all other nations, could U.S. thrive? Let me put this. Could U.S. thrive more being secluded, or would it lead to other nations getting together and to take the world? Good point. That's good. And I wouldn't say that's a simpleton answer. Not at all. I think that's a pretty good take, because United States, I mean, whether we like it or not, we are the big guy on the block, right? We are. We're still the most powerful. Look, guys, please, I just don't want you guys to get all wrapped up in the axle, all right, about what certain people may say or not say about the country. But no matter what you say, America is still the big boy on the block, okay? And there's always going to be nations out there that are going to try to knock us down a few notches. It's going to happen. That's what geopolitics is. It's been, and it's not, and this is not something that is associated just with the United States. This has happened throughout all of history. You know, whoever was the big guy on the block, people went after him. That's what happened. The British Empire, the Roman Empire, Alexander, the Macedonian Empire, the Egyptian Empire, you name any empire, the Chinese Empire, the Mongolian Empire. You could go all throughout history. People always want to try to knock them down, right? But we'll just keep it here in what's going on in today. There's forces at work, guys, that are definitely trying to knock us down, and we have to be aware of it. And we have to be an example to an extent, right? Yeah, same way why the Yankees are hated, and Bonds. I would love to see this 100%. 100%. Love to see this nation have a real low homeless population, prison population, hunger, insecurity. Billions given to other country could help this country. But 100%, I 100% agree with what you say, Nick. But I think as the United States of America, we could do both, can't we? Or all of it. Couldn't we do all of that? Shouldn't we be able to have a situation where we have a very low homeless population, prison population, and hunger insecurity? Honestly, no one should actually go hungry with how much surplus we have, to be honest with you. But I don't understand why it's got to be one or the other. Why can't it be all? Remember after World War II? Do you guys remember the Marshall Plan? I don't know how many people of you know what the Marshall Plan was. We basically rebuilt Europe. Once World War II was concluded, Europe was a mess, as MF would say. Europe was a mess. Totally destroyed. The infrastructure was in shambles. I mean, it was bad. So we infused a crap ton of money at that time to rebuild back their countries. And now it's important, right? That's important. We're all interconnected one way or another, and you got to have allies, right? If you don't have allies in the world and you're out there floating in an island by yourself, good things will not come of it. You have to have allies. And Marshall Plan, kind of did that. Not only did we help fight on behalf of Europe to get rid of Nazi Germany and to get rid of imperialistic Japan. I mean, we were able to do that, right? We fought wars in two different parts of the world. We were able to do that. We succeeded. And it was at that point that we became the most powerful nation on this planet. But I don't see why we can't do both. But I'm kind of diverting a little bit. Matthew says, what worries me is that America's getting too involved in foreign wars. It's kind of always been like that. How much of that is happening because of politicians are paying their donors with military? But you know what? The military isn't as strong as you think it. Well, I should say it's strong, but the military industrial complex, it's not exactly a place where there's people are making. It's not like it was in the first Cold War or even during World War II and during the Cold War. Yeah, they were, and the military industrial complex was rampant. For example, California. You know how many bases the state of California had in the height of the Cold War? I'm just going to name a few. But down south, you had March Air Force Base. You had George Air Force Base. You had Norton Air Force Base. You had Edwards Air Force Base. You got Miramar Naval Air Station. You got San Diego. I'm not sure what the naval base is over there. but you had Naval Air Station. You had Moffett Field in the Bay Area. You had Alameda Naval Air Station. You had Vallejo with the submarines, Mare Island. You have McClellan Air Force Base. You had Mather Air Force Base. You had Travis Air Force Base. You have Beale Air Force Base. You had Fort Ord. What else am I missing? I'm probably missing the California was nothing but a giant base. If you think about it, it was huge. It's not like that anymore. I think the only Air Force bases now are, I think March is still around. March is still around. I think it's a reserve base. Lemoore Naval Air Station. As a matter of fact, that's still there. I think it's still there if I'm not mistaken. But down south, you have March, which is a reserve base, and you got Edwards, which is a test base. Up here, you got Travis, you got Beale. That's it. Yeah, Travis is still around. Travis and Beale up here, and that's it. Alameda has closed. Mare Island's closed. Fort Ord is closed. Norton has closed. George Air Force Base is closed. Miramar is closed. It's basically a military prison. El Toro, I think, is still open down that. I forgot about El Toro. That's a Marine Corps Air Station. And a Navy base in San Diego is still there. But yeah, it's reduced big time. But yes, that was during the time when people were making a lot of money off of the military. It's not so much like that now. Not so much. But you got to think about it. Look what's going on in the world, guys. You got Russia that has invaded Ukraine and continually threatens Europe. They are. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, Putin is not innocent. He likes to go about acting like, the West has put him in certain positions to do this, and that's a bunch of bullshit, guys. He's invaded Georgia. He's invaded Ukraine twice. He got involved in Syria, and Syria turned into a mess. They basically flattened cities, and I don't know why they brought the Russians into Syria in the first place. That was a bad decision. They're all involved in Africa with their private military, or PMCs, the private military contracts. You got China. That's been a growing threat for a long time. They're on the verge of being able to go ahead and do whatever the hell they can impose their will right now in the Pacific. And we're vulnerable. There's no doubt about it. We're vulnerable in that part of the world. We used to be strong. We used to have presence in the Pacific, in the Philippines. We still have it in Japan, still have it in Korea, but we had bases in the Philippines. I'm trying to remember now. Philippines is pretty, but the Philippines is a key area because you're that much closer to China. And then of course you got the Middle East. What's going on? I'm concerned. And I'll tell you why I'm concerned is these last few years, what are we projecting? And I've said this before. Oh, I'll find it. There's a saying out here. I know where to find it now too. Just bear with me for a minute here. I got to find a guy. And this rings true. Ah, there it is right here. Here we go. Oh my gosh, what the heck did I do? I'll find it in a minute. Just give me a minute, guys. Where is it? Just give me a minute. Where was it? Where was it? Was it this one? It was this one. Where is it? I'm almost there, guys. Just like I said, just bear with me. Where did he say this? It's a great quote. Just give me a minute, guys. It's taking a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was where I thought it was, and I got to find it somewhere else. Just give me a minute. You guys talk amongst yourselves. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Where is it? I will find it. I'm just listening to something. Hmm. Found it. Here it is. This is what I want. Copy this. All right, guys, I'm going to put this in. Here we go. This is the damn quote I've been looking for forever. It's one of history's oldest maxims, and it's Roman. All right, I'll tell you what the translation is. Si vis pacem para bellum. How about that, huh? Si vis pacem para bella. How about that for my Latin? I probably butchered it. Can anyone guess what that stands for? Yeah, I know. All you got to do is copy and paste, and yeah, you'll be able to find it. What it translates into, this is what it translates into. There you go. Well, if it will actually go, let's see. Oh my gosh. Hold on one second. Yeah, I keep getting errors on this. Hold on one second. Yeah. Hey, Jim. Pretty. Why can I freaking? What the heck? It says I can't type. Why can't I type? Anyways, it stands for if you want peace, prepare for war. Okay. This is the problem. Are we preparing for war? Yeah, we still have the strongest military right now. But how are we projecting this power? Are we projecting it in a way that's going to keep bad actors away? Is it, or whatever we are doing, is it preventing anything happening in the world? No, I don't think it is. Matter of fact, I think the measures that we have taken over these last few years have emboldened the enemies. All right, because I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to say that that everything Biden has done has been well, because it hasn't. It's been an absolute disaster as far as foreign policy is concerned. And I keep the way we pulled out of Afghanistan. This is what I'm worried about, guys, because I know there's a lot of debate out there whether or not we should start but stop funding military aid to Ukraine. Okay. If we stop funding Ukraine with military assistance, what will be the outcome? Okay. What would be the outcome if we were to stop supplying Ukraine with military assistance? Honestly, I don't even want to know. AI is worrisome. Yes, Nick. That is something that actually we need to develop even more. AI is at work. No doubt about it. Look at some of these drones that are going on, all this stuff. Hypersonic weapons. Yep. There is no joke. No joke about it. And we better be ahead of that, Nick, because you know who's really who's going quote unquote on warp speed on trying to develop AI for the military? Take a guess. And it isn't Russia. Don't get me wrong, Russia will probably do their thing, but watch out. China, full steam ahead for them, guys. And if we get caught with our pants down, Putin would roll over Ukraine in 2 days. Yep. And maybe move on to Poland. You know what? Even though Poland is a NATO country, I'll tell you what scares me. China, Nick. Yes, there is I kind of talked about this. We have a NATO agreement with a bunch of European nations, right? And one of the key provisions within El Salvador, pretty good, Cryptic. One of the provisions in the NATO treaty is Article 5, which states that any attack on a NATO nation is an attack on all. Okay. So if Poland gets invaded, we're supposed to all come to the rescue of Poland. Right. That's how it's supposed to be. But here's the problem. If we pull out of Ukraine, what is that signaling to Putin? Showing that there is definitely a disconnect in what's going on with NATO, especially NATO nations. And I think, honestly, would we be turning our backs on Europe if we decide to pull out of, or I shouldn't say pull out of because we're not in there, but if we stop supporting Ukraine's military. I would agree with that, Aaron. And you know, there and that's not hyperbole. Putin has shown that he has no regard whatsoever in treaties, in his word, any of that. He'll do what he wants to do. Putin will do what Putin wants to do. Period. That he's a tyrant. He's a dictator. So if it's in his mind to go ahead and start rolling into Europe, he'll do it. Would he? I don't know. It would be a mistake, I think. But here's where I'm concerned. This is where I get concerned. Now we're talking specifically right now with Europe because we still have to get into the whole the China issue as well, or we'll just say Asia because North Korea is probably is part of that. Let me get back to the. This came out earlier, man. This is very unique. Where are we at here? Okay. Bear with me here. This is something Donald Trump said in South Carolina earlier today. Can other Euro countries support Ukraine more? They are. Honestly, there's a lot of European. The second most contributor to Ukraine is Germany. I know the UK is right behind there. You got Finland, you got Norway, you got Denmark, you got a bunch of nations that are contributing to the defense of Ukraine. There's no doubt about it. Even though they're not a NATO nation, talking about Ukraine, they're giving them quite a bit of support in helping them defeat the Russians. Of course, there's no one's ground troops are there, because it's quote unquote not a NATO war right now, but we're giving them the means to fight. But this is what concerns me right here, guys. I don't know if you guys have heard this or seen it about what Trump said earlier today in South Carolina, but here is just a here's just a piece here. Make sure it's turned up.
I did the same thing with NATO. I got them to pay up. NATO was busted until I came along. I said, everybody's going to pay. They said, well, if we don't pay, are you still going to protect us? I said, absolutely not. They couldn't believe the answer. And everybody, you never saw more money pour in to Secretary General Stoltenberg. Well, I don't know if he is anymore, but he was my biggest fan. He said, all these presidents came in, they'd make a speech, they'd leave, and that was it. And they all owed money, and they wouldn't pay it. I came in, I made a speech, and I said, you got to pay up. They asked me that question. One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes. Let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay. You got to pay.
Did you guys got that right? Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said? So Trump said, if the NATO countries, look, don't get me wrong, NATO countries need to pay their part. They got to pay their, that's in a treaty, and you got to pay. Got it. 2% of their GDP. I get it. But sitting there and saying that we will not protect you, and then goes on to say, I encourage Russia. That's what he's saying, right? I encourage Russia to invade. This is the issue. Cryptic, I get it. 100% get that. But as president of the United States, shouldn't you be above that type of talk, though? Isn't that something that needs to be talked about when you're discussing it with the world leaders who are part of NATO? Shouldn't that be done behind closed doors? You don't come out and just come out and say, you know what? If you don't pay, I hope you get invaded. that smart? Is quote unquote, we'll say this, is that good business? Is that good business to basically turn your back on NATO and have no friends whatsoever? That's not how you foster relationships, guys. That's a huge that is a huge mistake on behalf of Trump. He needs to do better than that. Look, is NATO perfect? Have they been paying their fair share? No, they haven't. But NATO did invoke Article 5 when we were attacked during September 11th. There was a lot of NATO nations in Afghanistan fighting the fight because we were attacked. So they're doing their part when, they're holding up to what the spirit of the treaty is, correct? I mean, you cannot be going out there and saying that. You can't. Look, is America powerful? Absolutely. But are we more powerful when we have friends and we have allies? If you want to push Europe towards the Russians, so be it, man. See how that works out for you. Like I said, oh yeah, Trump hates NATO. I know. I get that. But you got to understand, though, okay? When NATO first was established, who was the big guy on the block? It was the United States. No one else could do this. Everyone was devastated. The UK, they were devastated. France was in ruins. We rebuilt Germany, even though we destroyed it. We rebuilt Japan, even though we destroyed that. And now they're some of our strongest allies. Granted, we have our ups and downs in our, and how, warm or cold our relationships are with them. But they're our friends, guys. You don't succeed in the world by dividing. This is what I've been saying. I've been saying this forever. You cannot, if you're going to get anything to work, you're going to have to figure out a way to work with both sides. You have to, it has to be done. Now there's certain principles that you do not want to give up. I get that. That's not what I'm advocating. But when you're saying this type of rhetoric, it's not the right direction, guys. And that just makes Europe that much more I don't want to say dangerous, but has a potential to really go sideways. Oh man. When I heard that, I was like, man, please, seriously, he wants to sound like a tough guy. I get it. I get the shtick. Okay. I get it, but come on. Can we please get a leader who has a sound mind and who actually wants to get things done and step above the fray. Step above the fray. That's all I want in a leader, right? What you do behind closed doors, I get it. There are times where you have to, force the hand, so to speak. But damn, come on, people. Oh, that's not what I want in a candidate. And that's not going to help with what's going on in the world today. And everyone can see what it is. I'm sorry, but I think the second go around with Trump is not going to be like it was the first 4 years. The first 4 years, I think there was a lot of ambiguity because people didn't know how to take Trump. But I think they're probably on to him now. Especially the guys who want to, influence their nations in a bigger way. And I honestly, and I don't know what's going to happen because we got a guy in office right now who doesn't have the sense or the cognitive ability to be able to handle this type of stuff, and it scares the living bejesus out of me right now. And now we got a guy that's, the presumptive next guy who's going to just come in and be like a bull in a china shop. Look, I get that he's the guy who's not a politician. I get it. And I understand why people desire that, because people are tired of the status quo. And I get that infatuation. But come on, guys, we could do better, can't we? Please. 2028, 20. That's a lot of years between now and 2028, Nick. And I'm afraid what's going to happen between now and November, let alone what's going to happen in 2028. Oh, I don't, and that is still, and that's why I'm saying, what's the U.S.'s priority? But it's all going to depend on who's running the show. Newsom, that may happen. Newsom may happen. There is no doubt about that. Will Farr have a job in 2028? I hope he doesn't have a job by the end of this year. But I'm scared, and I don't know. And like I said, the whole purpose of this is to find a direction. And that, like I said, that interview had came up after I put up the show. So that kind of that throws a wedge right between us and Europe, if people are seeing that. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's not the president right now, but Europe is looking at that, and they're probably getting a little bit concerned. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure Europe is concerned now because, the military support has dried up to send to Ukraine. Need a person in the middle who is younger and able to lead people. Yep. You know what? And I think that we need a lot of that. But we need not only that as the president, but we also need that as in Congress as well. Granted, you're always going to have your extremes on both sides, but it seems like everybody's in the extreme on each side. There's not much middle ground, it seems. I'm talking about people who are in the positions of power, Congress, president, and I don't know. It's difficult times. We've been through it before. The nation has been through difficult times before. But boy, there's no guarantee of what's going to happen in the future. That's why it's important to understand what has happened in the past. So we got an understanding, we got a foundation underneath of us to see when people start acting a certain way. It's like, hey, you know what? I kind of seen that before, and maybe we should nip it in the bud before it gets out of hand. Because you know how it is. Once things get a mind of their own, it could be dangerous. And I'm seeing a lot. My Twitter has been blowing up because I'm following historians and analysts and all this stuff, and it's quite interesting. It's like, what is going on here? Everyone could see. Everyone was able to have a front row seat to see what Putin's all about. Like I said, I don't think they had any. It's not like he revealed anything new. Everyone understood that Putin is on a rampage to reestablish what the glories of the Soviet Union. And we got to be able to stop that. That's why I think, the focus has to be on Europe as well. Same thing with China. Now, look, China is seeing what's going on here, guys. Come on. China sees exactly what's going on here. They see the dysfunction that's happening within our own nation. They see what Trump is doing. They see how Biden has been acting. So don't you think they're going to make a move? Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they make a move? And we're not prepared for it. We better get prepared. And that's why I like that Roman saying. If you want peace, you have to prepare for war. Reagan kind of took on that peace through strength type of thing. It's the same thing. Oh, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating to see what's just going on. And you could see North Korea, they're doing their thing, man. They're really amping up. I've never seen them this belligerent in quite a while. They're stepping it up. Usually they have a lot of rhetoric. There's a lot of talking that always comes out of the North Korea. They'll launch a few missiles here, a few missiles there. But it seems like it feels a little bit different. I don't know how many people have I don't know how many I don't want to say elderly people, 40 and above who've seen this before from North Korea where they'll just ratchet up their rhetoric. But this seems a little bit different. And I don't think it's on accident. I don't think it's on accident at all. Xi Jinping, I mean, goodness gracious, he's the second coming of Mao. That's basically, I mean, it's unheard of for a Chinese. After Mao, it was unheard of to see another Chinese leader to have more than quote unquote 2 terms. He's in his 3rd term, if you will, and he's consolidating his power in a big way. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do because they're formidable. You think Russia's doing something right now in Ukraine, and they're not. Russia's not giving up. They're playing the long game. Russia understands. They got a manpower superiority over Ukraine, and that may just be what it is. They may just try to bleed out Ukraine because look at what's happening already. And I knew this was going to happen. Yeah, even if Russia didn't succeed in the very beginning, if it's prolonged, what's going to happen? War weariness will set in. Even though we have not one person who is shedding or has shed blood on the Ukrainian battlefield, I'm talking about, don't get me wrong, there's people who volunteer to go down there, but I'm talking about commitment from the U.S. Not one person has died in fighting in Ukraine, but yet there's war weariness already. 2 years into the war. 2 years, and all we're doing is supplying them with military equipment. Are we giving them some cash? Sure, we're giving them some cash, but it's not nearly what the price tag is on the amount of military equipment that we're giving them. That's what we're giving Ukraine. And yeah, I know there's a lot of talk about there. No, people don't trust Zelensky. People don't trust the Ukrainian government. Look, and I've talked about this before. They're in war, guys. Is there going to be some type of form of corruption? Yep. Look at the United States of America. Are we not corrupt? Come on. Isn't that the pot calling the tea kettle black? Really? Come on. We're trying to support a nation that has been invaded. What do you think is a bigger threat to Americans? Russia invading Ukraine or fentanyl invading America? I want Putin out of Ukraine, but no doubt about it. You know what? Good point. And where does a lot of that fentanyl come from, Matthew? Where does that fentanyl come from? Who manufactures fentanyl? Take a guess. Take a guess where that fentanyl is being manufactured. That's where it's being, not where it's being transported from, but where is it being manufactured? China. Exactly. It's China. Don't get me wrong. Mexico makes some, but China is the people who are making fentanyl. They're the world's pharmaceutical company. Where do you think we get all our drugs from, guys? It's made in China. All your prescription drugs that you pretty much get is being made in China. No Sentinel, I don't know. That's where it's coming from. And we're relying on that. It's crazy. We've all the manufacturing of everything is over in China. Talk about a strategic mistake, right? It comes in this country through, yes. It's manufactured in China. It's shipped to Mexico, and then from Mexico into the United States. And don't think that's not on purpose. Don't think that's not on purpose. And yes, I agree. The border has to be secured 100%. I'm advocating for backing Ukraine, securing our border, and preparing for China. Again, I don't understand why that cannot be done. It should be. Should that not be in the realm of possibilities in the United States of America? Are we that far gone, guys? I'm asking you. I want to ask you guys, do you think, are we that far gone to where we cannot be able to take care of multiple issues at once? Are we that are we that ADHD to where we can only focus on one thing and not another? Are we not be or can we not multitask in the United States of America? Man, I don't understand it. Honestly, I don't get. I don't understand how supporting Ukraine equals not being able to secure the border. I don't understand how securing the border doesn't mean we can't prepare against China. I don't get it. And like I said, the current administration is asleep at the wheel. They failed. He's failed. There's no doubt about it. 100%. He has failed. Now, who's going to be the next guy that comes in charge? Who knows? Could be Donald Trump. Could be Joe Biden. Could be. Who knows? Who knows it could be? But if it's Biden, it's bad. It'll be bad. It'll be bad. If it's Trump, I don't know. I know there's a lot of people who are up on Trump. And do I think he'll do something at the border? Yeah, I think he'll do something at the border. No doubt about it. But then what does he do? What does he do against Europe? And how does he prepare against China? I get so worked up about this stuff. Yeah, at least Trump can speak. and here's, yeah, and I'm gonna tell you. Well, I don't know, Aaron. I would say that, but I think a lot of the foreign affairs can be almost directly linked to the failures of Biden. So I think that's a little bit different. If these situations were happening based on not what the administration has done, you see what I'm saying? Because Biden has looked weak, so the rest of the world was. I shouldn't say the rest. Certain nations in the world can take advantage of that. So that's what led to the foreign affairs. You see what I'm saying? It's one thing if someone was strong in the office, and a country decided to go belligerent against another one. I don't know if you're trying to, or if you know what I'm trying to say here. But yeah, I think the onset of the foreign affairs that we're dealing with today is because of a weak administration. But I'm focusing on foreign affairs primarily in this episode because it does have an effect on what's happening in this country today. It does. 100% it does. We've seen it throughout history, guys. That's why I don't like this idea of where we just give up on Ukraine. It looks like we're just appeasing Putin. It just looks like we're appeasing him. And appeasement has gotten nowhere. We're the United States of America. We should be able to dictate certain parts of global strategic initiatives, right? We're the United States of America. We're missing from the Middle East, right? It looks like we're missing from Europe. Europe is casting a side eye at the United States, wondering what in the hell are they going to do? We got to watch our back. When we used to be close friends here, strategy. It's scary. You can't get through this world today without having some friends. Don't get me wrong. United States, like I said, I preface this, we're the strongest nation in the world. But if you get people, you start pushing people against us, now you're just piling on more shit you have to deal with. We don't need more shit. We need less. That should be a slogan for the next president. Less shit. Vote for me. Less shit. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Biden is embarrassing, Jim. 100%. Curry hit a crazy three. Oh, did he? How far was it? Was it like a half court shot? Less shit, more strategery. I think come November, the ticket will be Trump versus Michelle Obama. No, I don't think it's going to be Michelle. You know who I think it's going to be? Gavin Newsom. That's who it's going to be. Watch. Gavin Newsom will be if Biden doesn't make it through this, it's going to be Gavin Newsom. It's going to be Gavin. Watch. Because Michelle Obama is not a quote unquote politician. I don't think she's going to be able to, I don't think she's going to have that draw. I just don't think it'll look, Gavin is a career politician and he's going to get the nomination. Trump will mop up the floor with Gavin. He should. I would agree with that. He should, but Gavin is slick, man. Gavin is slick. Don't underestimate him. And again, what you cannot do is you cannot underestimate your opponent. Just like Trump did that with Biden. He did that with Biden in 2020. You know, no matter what you think about the election, I'm not going to even go down that road. Whatever you think, he underestimated Biden, even though he stayed in that his damn basement. Basically, what Biden did is he let Trump go out there and be Trump, and that's what cost Trump his second term. 100%. Because I think there was, back in 2020, there was more voting against Trump than for Biden. Biden just happened to be it could have been freaking Mickey Mouse, and people would have voted for Mickey Mouse than Trump. There's a lot of, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of support for Trump. He had 74 million votes. That's a shit ton. But there was also a huge segment of the population that also didn't like him. That's how divided that this country is. It used to be, like I said, the extremes on each end, and then you had a strong middle. But it's really entrenched on both sides. There's not much of a middle. Oh, I remember that. That was so bad with Giuliani. That was weird. The guy was just sweating profusely. Whew. What happened to Giuliani, man? Remember during September 11th? He was a great leader for New York at that time. I don't know what the hell happened to him. I don't know what happened to him. Because I think they know Kamala's not going to, she's not going to be able to carry. Man, Kamala Harris, she was the first one that had to drop out of the primaries in 2016, right? No, 2020. In 2020, she was the first Democratic candidate that had to drop out. No support whatsoever. I think it's going to be Gavin. If Biden doesn't make it, it's going to be Gavin. But like I said, we need to focus on it. I really didn't talk about it. I was a little bit, but with Asia, Xi is sitting back, just waiting, buying his time. And if we're not keeping an eye on that, that's going to be the next thing that pops off. Buttigieg? No. I don't see him ever getting a nomination. No way. Honestly, I don't even know. I don't even know who would be a good nominee right now, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, the West needs a complete rebuild, and it might take generations. I kind of said that for this nation, it's going to take a couple of generations for this nation to kind of get back in order. You think about it, I mean, remember in the late 1960s, early 70s, I talked about this before too. The country was tearing itself apart. It took a while. I mean, you had 1980s wasn't bad though. So it did recover fairly quick there within 10 years. But I'm talking about just the way politics is done in Washington. Maybe that's never going to change. Maybe it's just too rooted into the way it is right now. I don't know. We celebrate the wrong things and our enemies take advantage. Oh, no kidding. No, I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that interview. He's asking Gavin Newsom did an interview with Adam Carolla before he became governor. It was historical. Newsom said he'd never go on that show again. And honestly, I don't know. To me, I don't think Gavin Newsom would hold as far as a national, what do you want to call it, impression. He'll hold people here on the West Coast to a certain extent, but I don't think that's going to fly in the rest of the United States. I just don't. I mean, all Trump has to do is just look at what's going on in California. That's all you got to do. Then it's game over. It's game over. The state is a mess because of Newsom, and before that, Brown. Yeah, so I don't. Now, don't get me wrong. He's a great public speaker. He's a sleazeball looking guy. But yeah, like I said, unless they just let Trump do Trump things like he did today, it's not like Trump doesn't have any kind of mental thing. Didn't he call Nikki Haley Nancy, or he was calling Nikki Haley, he thought it was Nancy Pelosi when he was talking about her. So he's had some slip ups as well. Yeah, I don't know, man. To me, I don't know. For this Trump nomination, it just seems more about a revenge rather than what's going to be best for the country. That's just a feeling. I could be totally off. I could be totally wrong. That's just what it feels like to me. And that's not what this country needs. But to get back to Asia, like I said, China sitting there buying their time, seeing what's going on. He's seen what Biden's done. And you know what? Maybe he wants to act before Biden even comes out of office, to be honest with you. Maybe he sees what's going on. He knows you'll be able to get away with stuff with Biden still in office. Look what's going on in the Middle East. I mean, hell, the Houthis are still launching missiles. I saw a report saying that we may be pulling our troops out of Iraq and Syria. Another retreat. We just look, and now we're not, and now we got quote unquote war fatigue in Ukraine now. We got war fatigue. We got to stop supplying Ukraine with the means to defend itself because we can't do both that and secure the border. See, I think it takes more than just name recognition, Matt. That's my feeling. I could be totally off because you have to have a little bit more than just name recognition. Because I think people are seeing this country and they don't like the direction. And I think you're going to have to come out with some pretty good ideas to try to get this country on the right track. I don't know. I can be totally off on this. Totally off. What we got here? Oh. Let's see what we got going on here. I'm just taking a look at what people are saying here. Hmm. A lot of people, there's people saying NATO doesn't pay the United States. NATO countries are supposed to pay. It goes into I guess an account. People don't pay us for their protection. Look, the United States is not a mafia, right? It's not a damn mafia. No, Will's not. He's just feeling under the weather. He's just not feeling good. He'll say he'll be back in the next one. But yeah, the United States is not a damn. It's not a damn racket, right? We're not being paid for the protection. It's everyone pitches in to the same pot to protect Europe and or to protect, quote unquote, the alliance. Yeah, good point there, Matt. Crazy that we're in an election year and we're talking about which candidate will run other than the current running incumbent. Yep. How did this happen? Well, when you get a president like, can we? I'm going to have to look that up. Has there been a president that has utterly failed as much as President Biden? I don't know. Yep. Got people out there saying, first, it's not likely that any president of any European country said this, talking about the NATO, funding NATO, because there is no pain to anyone involved. Exactly. Second, Trump doesn't understand NATO or Russia, and he is endangering all of Europe with his incredibly dumb statements. That wasn't a good move. Hmm. Hmm. What do we got here? Professor of political science Michael McFaul. He's a matter of fact a Hoover Senior Fellow at Stanford. He says our greatest advantage compared to China and Russia are our allies. Everyone knows that except Trump. Golly, man. Brother. Let's see. Why can't Trump win Republican side of the competition? Because you got to go through a process, PK. You got to go through the primaries, you become the nominee, and then you run for president as your Republican nominee. It's just the way it is. It's how our system works. Does Joe Biden have any competition? Himself. Do you think, president should require military service? It's not in the Constitution. You would have to amend the Constitution. I don't know if that's, I don't know. I think it would be nice, but what do we got? You think? Hold on. Let's see. Carter. Yeah, Carter was pretty bad. Truman. I mean, compared to what? I don't know. The last 4 Republican presidents have left the country in a recession. That may be possible. That may be possible. Oh, let's see. Trump is 4 years being to Biden's age. Yeah, that is it. Are you trying to say that's not good? 45 to 60 years old. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. No, I don't think no independent has ever won. Ever. No, Reagan didn't leave the country in a recession. I know when he first became president, they went into a recession, I think in between 81 and 82. But when Bush Sr. came in, he didn't have a recession. When Bush Sr. had left, we went into a recession. Um, and I'm trying to remember. Yeah, when Bush second and then Clinton came in, things were well under Clinton. Not a whole lot of stuff going on in the world too. I mean, you had the dissolving of the Soviet Union, but it didn't seem during Clinton's term. You had stuff going on in Kosovo. Of course, you still had stuff in Iraq. Yeah, both Bush. See, but with the second Bush, I know we go back to the 2007 2008. That was the whole with the banks and everything. But was that because of Bush? If I'm not mistaken, I think I read that under Clinton, it had to do with the way banks lent money, and it's supposed to follow inflationary models. And if you don't, that you can run into a situation where we ran into in 2008 when a lot of people we got the housing bubble burst and you got the banks that failed. I don't know if that was necessarily a because of the Bush. Yeah, RFK he ain't gonna do nothing. The only thing he's gonna do is pull votes away from Biden. That's the only thing he'll do. Is Trump going to trial? Supposed to be. I want an independent. Unfortunately, it's just not. It's not in the cards right now. Not in our lifetime. All the money is in the Democratic and Republican parties. That's where all the money is. Trickle down economics. Yep. That's a whole nother debate on how and what you think, what economic model that you like the best. What is going to be best to spur economic growth within a nation? Yeah, I mean that's a whole different ball of wax. That that stuff. Whew, it's a little bit above my head. You think we can get a veteran as a president? Bush was a veteran. The first Bush was a veteran. I don't think Reagan was. Carter wasn't. Nixon wasn't. Johnson wasn't. Kennedy was. Um, Before Kennedy, of course, Eisenhower. Yeah. Or Truman. No. No. I was right. Eisenhower, yes. Truman, I think he was. Roosevelt was not. Lincoln, he was part of the militia. He was in the militia, but I don't know if you would consider him. George Washington, come on, PK. come on, PK. Oh, man. You better not be messing with me. George Washington? Really? Can Biden drive? Yeah, he was National Guard. Still a veteran, but yeah, still a veteran. Benjamin was a nope. Ben Franklin was not a president. He was a signer of the Constitution and Declaration of Independence, right? But no, not a president. All right. Oh gosh, where else do I want to go? I went on pretty good. What do you guys think? Tell me what you guys are thinking out there. Yes, John Hancock. Very good. What do you guys think out there? I kind of went on my rant. Had to get that off my chest. Let's see what new stuff is out here. I saw a clip of that Curry 3. Wow, that was impressive. That was impressive. Whew. Wow. Oh, who is this? Hmm. Ooh. That's right. He is a How come I thought he's on the Hoover Institute? Yeah, he is. Yeah, I might have to listen to more stuff of him. Interesting. Oh, what do we got here? Let me take a good. Neither was Hamilton. What do you mean neither was? Oh, yeah, Hamilton was not a president, but he was a veteran. Farhan for president, Ron. Treading on thin ice, Ron. That's a great litmus test. If you're not mentally fit to drive a car, you shouldn't be president. How about if you're not mentally fit to face prosecution? If you don't have a memory and you don't get prosecuted because of your memory, how can you function as a president? Have you heard about King? Yeah, I heard about King Charles' health. Yeah. Any resolution fallout from the Tucker interview? No, nothing's going to come of it. I mean, I've seen a lot of chatter about that. A lot of people are, questioning him, how come you didn't push back on Putin? But I kind of figured it was going to, it followed the way that I thought it was going to be. You think Putin's going to answer any? What I don't understand though is when Putin stated that Poland instigated Germany in invading them for World War II. Come on, as a journalist, you got to be able to push back on that. Really? And if Putin is going to walk out because you question him about some ludicrous statement about Poland instigating Germany to invade them, then you know what? Walk out then. It shows more about you than it does about me asking you a question, right? As a journalist, you should be able to have that type of freedom to be able to counter with a question when you give me a response that this makes absolutely no sense. But yeah, I seen a lot of people basically saying, that just it was nothing. It was a nothing burger. And basically, Putin used that opportunity to reach the Western civilization. That's all they did. And some people fell for it. There were some senators falling for it, actually saying, look, Putin just wants to have peace. And if you believe Putin wants to have peace, I got a bridge to sell you. I don't get it. Don't get it. And it, like I said, it was Tucker just falling for it. He had to have known that's what it's going to be. I mean, he had to have known. And to hear, I don't want to hear the argument that no other Western journalists will try. No, other Western journalists are probably going to try, but Putin's going to say no because he wants to be able to control the narrative. He wants to control the situation. Bah. it just, like I said, it just showed just more of the delusional thoughts of Putin. He's just hell bent on wanting to reform the Soviet Union. That's what it comes down to. That's what he wants. Let's see. The Chile president died on a plane crash? I haven't heard that one yet. Ukraine's still recovering. Putin is a devil to them, and I heard from an interview from the news. Ukraine isn't recovering. They're suffering. There is no doubt about that. Okay, where are we going here? What do we got here? Whew. Whew. But Eric, Ukraine was part of Russia like 1,000 years ago. Doesn't that make up for it? Okay. Thousand. Here, hold on. I think I got some here. I'm gonna like that. I gotta find something. You just reminded me. See if I think I might have it. It's way down here. Where is it at? Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Boom, boom. Where is it at? There we go. Okay. You all can see that map, right? Which base will the jets fly over from tomorrow? Let's see if they're in Vegas. Probably Nellis Air Force Base. Yeah, probably Nellis. But how can you fly over something where no one can see it, right? It'll be for the cameras. But anyways, you guys can see that map, right? Let's take a gander at this. The Khanate of the Golden Horde. Chipchak. Chagatai Khanate. The Khanate of the Great Khan. The Ilkhanate. Yeah. You guys know when this was, right? Remember the Mongolians? I think he forgot all about the Mongolians, didn't he? And it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, this map over here, do you see this over here? This looks like it was part of what? It used to be part of what is now Ukraine. It was also in a lot of what is in today's Russia. Interesting. Interesting. I guess he forgot that part of history, but you know, it is what it is. Let me show this, guys. This is pretty intense. Okay, guys. This is yeah, I know. Exactly, Matthew. It was just a bunch of, but it was It was propaganda. That's what it was. It was propaganda. And no one's really going to call out Putin. Yeah, nobody. Exactly. A real journalist would have done it, but then he would have walked out. Okay, so what? Like I said, who cares? So walk out then. Get the hell out of here. If you can't take that, then it reflects on you, not on me. But then again, you may wind up getting a bullet in the back of your head too. All right, here, check this out, guys. You want to talk about some scary moments? Woo, boy. Check this out. Just to set this up, Barack Nixon hid in a portable toilet together with two girls during the Nova Music Festival. They had to stay quiet as Hamas terrorists were just a few meters away from them. They spent 9 hours in that toilet and survived. Listen to this. Whew. Man, that was during October 7th when Hamas, remember when they assassinated a bunch of the people in the music festival? That is just, that's rough right there. They survived though. You see how close? You see the shadows coming underneath the porta potty door? Man, that is, woo-wee. And you can hear, I don't know if you guys could hear it. You could hear the booms in the background. Those are all the rockets that were launched, landing into Israel. And then, of course, them shooting innocent civilians. Senior says it was all through the translator. And you know what? You know what I kind of wish I had? I wish I had subtitles on. I was listening to the translator and I think I missed some stuff because I didn't realize he said that about Poland instigating World War II. Gosh, because I was listening to it on Tucker Carlson. I don't know if he had subtitles and I should have done it. I was just listening to the damn translator. That was dumb. Should have known better. All right, guys. I think I'm going to get ready to shut it down. I want to appreciate you guys showing up tonight. It's kind of last minute, but with all this stuff going on, I thought we probably should hit on this subject. And, I don't think this is the last time we're going to talk about this either. Specifically what's going on in either Europe and Asia, Middle East. Oh, man, I didn't even get into the Middle East, did I? That's a mess over there, too. And it's not getting any better. And if I'm not mistaken, things are starting to get intensify on the northern border of Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. So things aren't quieting down in Israel, the Middle East, all that area. If anything, it's starting to heat up even a little bit more. So who knows where that's gonna go. Hey, thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it. Yeah, the chat. You guys were great tonight. Appreciate the help. That's what I like doing. I like talking to you guys, and I want you guys to get some feedback back as well. I think that's what makes the show that much better. I just don't want to sit here and be talking at you guys. I'd rather be having a discussion with y'all. Makes it that much more enjoyable, and maybe it's not even about learning anything. It's about just sharing ideas. We're not right, we're not wrong, but we just have ideas of where the direction things should go, and I appreciate that interaction. So, guys, I said if I have it in sometime during the week, who knows, man? Just watch. Just put the notifications on. I don't have a set schedule of when I'm going to go on and not go on. So yeah, just make sure you set your notifications so when I do go live, you guys know about it. I try to let you guys know when I'm on NorCal, and that helps a little bit better when NorCal goes on, and I can let you guys know if I'm having a show or not. NorCal will be back on Monday. I don't know honestly, I don't know if Dan's going to decide to do, because I know he'll probably go on with Larry tomorrow right after the Super Bowl. Halftime, I'm not sure. I guess it all depends. If the Niners are blowing them out, maybe we will. But if it's close, I don't think Dan has I don't think he'll have the stomach to try to do a halftime show. But we'll definitely be back Monday, talk more Giants. That's going to be, the beginning of quote unquote spring training, pitchers and catchers report. So we'll see how that's going to work out. It's going to be rough, but yes, tomorrow, Super Bowl, San Francisco 49ers versus Kansas City Chiefs. Let's see who's going to win. It's going to be exciting. See a lot of people around today with their San Francisco 49ers flags out. So we'll see how it pans out. Hey, take it easy, Jim. Thanks for showing up, man. I appreciate it. You're a dedicated member. I appreciate it. Dan will be taking shots of his mint chip. I don't know. Maybe if he just had the mint chip and no coffee, I think he'll be good to go. But yeah, let's see what happens tomorrow. It's going to be interesting. It should be a lot of fun. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one. And like I said, catch me on NorCal Sports Network on Monday at 8:30. Until then, guys, see ya.